Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine if, like, all the different threads of your life, the good stuff, the challenges, even the quiet bits, what if they were all actually part of this huge, interconnected tapestry, like woven together on purpose?
That's kind of the journey we're starting today. A deep dive into, well, the power of connection, and people often call it the father's heart.
Yeah.
We're talking about this really deep, affirming acceptance, something that can redefine who we think we are, shape our relationships, and, yeah, clarify our purpose.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating, I think, beyond just the individual stories, which are amazing, is how these really personal reflections, these moments of deep affirmation,
Hmm.
they actually light up these universal truths,
Yeah.
about being human. And when you understand these truths, it can bring so much clarity, a real sense of belonging in your own life. So our mission today really is to pull out these insights, offer these like universal nuggets of knowledge about finding your own value, navigating relationships with more grace, and really unlocking your unique potential, not just ideas, but like real things for you. That core idea that everything's connected. It's really compelling, isn't it? It seems like that was the feeling from the whole gathering, that life isn't just random stuff happening. It's this like purposeful web. But for some people that might sound a bit overwhelming or even confusing when things feel chaotic. Were there specific stories that really showed how those dots started connecting for someone, making a clear picture?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The speaker really emphasized that this connection, it's not just about, external events lining up perfectly. It's more fundamental. It's about this sense of belonging, this purpose that kind of anchors you. It's like recognizing that the dots of your life, they're actively being connected,
Yeah.
guiding you, showing you where you are now, and, well, pointing towards where you're truly meant to go. It's this divine orchestration, you could say. Yeah. Way more intricate than we often realize.
Divine orchestration. I like that. And speaking of deep connections, there was that really beautiful insight shared about a friend, described as an amazing friend, someone who truly gets, the real nature of friendship, hates gossip, doesn't like talking badly about others. That really stood out. And her love, it was said, it goes beyond the boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Like beyond backgrounds or anything
Yeah.
superficial. That's pretty rare.
It really is. And what's striking too is she's described as very wise, even though she maybe doesn't speak a lot, because as they put it, the father placed a lot of wisdom in her. And the core message for her was this deep, intrinsic sense of being deeply loved. So deep, if you dig the deepness of it, you cannot find the bottom. Unfathomable. And she was affirmed as beautiful and wonderfully made, called that way back, even when you were inside your mother's womb. Now, this isn't just like a nice thought, right? It's presented as this bedrock truth, something that actually empowers her to connect with others without all the usual judgment or agendas.
Yeah, that's powerful. Imagine operating from that place yourself, where your own worth feels that clear, that deeply affirmed. How might that change, your interactions, letting you connect beyond just the surface stuff
Hmm.
with that kind of unconditional grace she seems to have?
Exactly. Operating from unshakable worth. That's a good way to put it.
Hmm.
And building on that, this dynamic of partnership came up. Through a married couple, their coming together was called an amazing thing, two special people joining forces. But interestingly, their current phase, their season, is about letting go. And it was acknowledged straight up. Not an easy process. I think a lot of people can relate to that
Not
feeling.
for sure. Letting go is tough.
Yeah, and this letting go, it's framed as a fundamental characteristic of the father,
Mm.
kind of like a wise parent, releasing their child into more independence. It's not abandonment. It's more an act of trust in this bigger design. So the husband in this couple, he was affirmed, called a good man, an amazing man, deeply loved by the father,
Hmm.
holding a very special place in his heart. And he's described as godly stubborn in his beliefs, unwavering, staying true to what he knows, which is a real strength.
Godly sober. Okay.
But then, when he maybe doesn't clearly see the larger picture, that's where his wise perspective becomes vital. And this highlights something crucial for him, apparently. It's hard to receive because, as the speaker noted, our culture often teaches us it's easier to give.
Oh, that's interesting. The contrast between that godly stubbornness and the humility needed to receive sounds like a tricky dance to learn, doesn't it? But their relationship, even with the challenges, it seems to model this journey of giving and receiving.
Mm.
And that powerful truth, you cannot give without receiving. She's even called part of that gift to him. It sounds like their path involved growth through trials, a lot of broken pieces being put back together, creating something stronger.
Exactly. Stronger, more profound, even.
So it makes you think, doesn't it? What in your own life might be holding you back? Something that if you released it, could maybe unlock a new level of wisdom or connection, kind of mirroring that deep principle of letting go.
It really does make you think. Recognizing that letting go isn't always about loss. Often it's about making space for something better, something new to come in. It's this reciprocal process. Trust is key. And for this couple, yeah, their connection seems rooted in that mutual affirmation and a willingness to humble, in both giving and receiving. The speaker did mention those broken pieces being reassembled, not just like fixed, but transformed, showing that even in vulnerability, there's incredible strength.
Transform, not just fixed. I like that. Okay, shifting gears a bit. How purpose gets unveiled. There's that really powerful story about a single mother. Her 13-year-old kid, it was revealed, will open the door for you that no one else will have. Even hearing the voice of the Lord that you never did. Wow, this child will apparently open doors that no one else in your family has ever done. That sounds incredible, like totally unexpected.
It really is inspiring. And the cool thing, the insight shared, was that the mother is actually part of that kid.
Yeah.
Because your kid inherits something that passed down through you because of the image of God in you. See, it's not just genetics, it's like a spiritual inheritance thing. And this moment for her, it's described as a crossroad of encouragement, something that will give you strength, like a divine intervention almost, turning what might seem like a disadvantage on its head.
Right.
And such a powerful affirmation came with it. God is so happy just by looking at you and is full of joy for you.
Yeah.
Totally separate from what the world thinks or any expectations placed on her as a single parent. It really flips the script on what success and purpose can look like, doesn't it? Proving God's plan can show up in the most surprising places.
It definitely does. How does that maybe challenge your own ideas about where purpose comes from?
Yeah.
Especially maybe in situations that seem, unconventional.
Yeah, it's a great question. Finding purpose not just despite things, but through them.
Exactly. Even through your children's unique gifts. And this theme of purpose kept going, right, with the student. For this person, the insight was that God is actively, like right now, putting your dreams together.
Yeah.
And your heart's desires together. The image used was a jigsaw puzzle, an active construction project.
Yeah, exactly. Active project. And crucially, this puzzle, it's not just personal. It involves other people. It connects generations even. The idea was the puzzle is getting bigger, expanding beyond just their own ambition, and it's opening doors for other people to come in, making this person, or maybe this couple, door openers in a really significant way. It's this powerful image, isn't it? How our individual callings slot into this bigger interconnected design that helps lots of people.
Door openers. I like that.
They were also reminded, apparently, that God isn't afraid to lead them through doors they might be, hesitant about, affirming his presence, like every step of the way.
That's comforting.
Yeah.
So it makes you think about the puzzle pieces in your own life, right? What seemingly random events or people might actually be part of this bigger picture God's still putting together for your future.
Right. It's about looking for those connections, isn't it? Even when the final picture isn't totally clear yet.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so from that grand design, let's shift to like the art of living, how we express our unique gifts. There was a story about a man who knows how to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to draw, get this, webtoons for North Korean refugees
Huh.
to share their stories for prayer.
Yeah.
That's very specific, very impactful.
Incredibly impactful. And the really powerful insight for him was this. When he draws, something comes alive. The description was like, the dirt comes alive because he breathes the image of God in there. So whatever he touches will come to life, especially because he shared this desire to evangelize through wordless webtoons. So you see, it's not just about artistic skill, is it? It's like this divine infusion, bringing a deeper spiritual reality into what he creates. And it was emphasized that the Father honors your heartfelt intentions. He does not really care what people say about you.
Right.
It's about the pure desire behind your expression. And that applies to all kinds of creativity, right? Our passions become avenues for divine life.
That's fascinating. His art actually breathes life. Amazing. And speaking of expression, there was that lovely description of a woman who cooks really well. Her husband gave her 2 thumbs up, apparently. And her cooking is described with finesse, which was explained as this mix of like charm and vibrancy and lively, showing her attention to details and presentation. The phrase used was graceful, like a ballet dancer.
Graceful. And that grace, it extends beyond the kitchen. She apparently carries a lot of presence when she just walks into the room without even needing to say anything. And this gracefulness was called essential for her husband's mission. See how that works? Seemingly ordinary gifts having this extraordinary impact in a partnership.
Yeah, that's really cool.
She's also good with her hands in other ways, like floral arrangements. And the insight was, The father loves what you're going to do with your hands. Not just for the pretty result, but for the caring heart behind it, suggesting even our practical skills have this spiritual weight.
Right, it's the heart behind it.
And then briefly, there was also a businessman mentioned, works in government. His life was likened to being an ambassador, always representing something bigger than himself, and he's learning heavenly business methods. A different kind of finesse, maybe, in the marketplace. The father apparently loves business mind people, too.
So drawing, cooking, business, these are all ways we express ourselves, and they carry deeper purpose. It feels like the big message weaving through these stories is, tell your story. Because God is writing a story in these crossroads. And crucially, He is rewriting your story. It's not about pretending the past didn't happen right, but recognizing that some of the old story, even the parts with hurt, can become a redeemed story.
Yeah.
Your story is your calling, and the Father loves your story, finding that narrative thread that makes sense of it all.
Exactly. Which really leads us to ask ourselves, doesn't it? What unique way are you expressing yourself, maybe without even fully realizing it? Breathing life into your world, telling a story that connects with your true calling. It's about seeing the divine in your everyday actions and your personal story, even those chapters you'd maybe rather skip. Because those are often the very parts God is busy redeeming, weaving into your most powerful testimony.
Redeeming the tough chapters, that's powerful. Okay, let's dive even deeper into divine affection.
Yeah.
There was this really interesting distinction made between liking and loving. We often use them almost the same way, don't we? But the insight shared was that liking is very practical, whereas love can be very broad. And the truly profound truth offered was, the Father likes you. Not just loves you, but likes you. He likes everything you like in every detail of it, even the stuff that you think it's not important. Wow, that's radical acceptance.
It really is, isn't it? Radical. He appreciates, your quirky interests, your desire to have questions to be answered, the patience involved in getting into the details of things. It's this level of intimate, specific affirmation goes way beyond just general affection. And remember the wife from that married couple, she was described as being like Mary in the Bible, cherishing a lot of things inside and wisely speaking them at the right time. Well, the father likes her marriage in every detail about it, not just the big milestones, but the day-to-day little things.
Every detail. Wow.
And this detailed affection, it also connects to the idea of a season of rest. For some people, described as grandparents perhaps, this is a time for rest, much like God rested after creation. So, could choosing intentional rest actually be an active way for you to remember and affirm God's faithfulness in your past?
That's a beautiful way to think about it. Rest isn't just stopping, it's active gratitude. This rest is a time for remembering what God has already done throughout your life, being grateful and thankful. The image was resting in the arms of Emmanuel, knowing I'm with you, always. It's like an invitation, isn't it, to embrace stillness, gratitude, to just be in that presence.
Exactly, just be. And this rest, this deep connection, it ultimately flows into what was called the beautiful dance of life. For another couple, one with 3 kids, ages 13, 10, and 6, so busy times, their life was pictured as this beautiful dance. And the powerful image shared was that 2 images of God dancing together is very powerful. And that dance creates the beautiful image of God in their children, too. Now, this dance, it was acknowledged, can be tiring, especially with kids those ages, demanding. But the sense was it's being recalibrated now. They're learning to dance again to that beautiful music.
Dancing again, I love that.
And it's not just about their family unit either. It connects back to that idea of multiplication, not just having kids, but the image of God multiplying through their lives, fulfilling what was called a royal calling. They are royal people, not because of, earthly status or anything, but because you came from the Father who's royal, the King of Kings, which means you belong to that kingdom. It's an identity thing.
Wow. Royal people belonging to that kingdom. Okay, so bringing this all together, what does it mean for you listening right now as you step back into your week? Well, it means your story. It's not just stuff that happened. It's this living narrative, and it's being divinely rewritten. Every chapter, even the hard ones, has purpose. Your connections, they aren't accidents. They're part of this grand design, weaving you into this amazing tapestry of shared life and destiny. And your unique gifts, they're not just skills you have. They're expressions of this deep, creative force inside you, waiting to breathe life into the world around you.
Yeah. Which brings us to this final, really provocative thought. The speaker at the gathering, they described the whole experience like a time bomb, but not the kind that scares people off. No, more like a magnet. It explodes, right? And it draws people in. So the question for you is, how might recognizing the magnetic explosion of your own life's journey With all its beautiful, connected, redeemed parts, how might that transform the way you engage with the world this week, drawing others into the incredible story God is telling through you? What happens when your unique story, your presence, your connections, what happens when they truly explode with purpose?
That's something to really sit with. Until our next deep dive, keep connecting those dots. Keep embracing your unique story. And keep allowing your life to be that magnetic force in the world.